Now, welcome back to the program. Let's begin with some of the stories we are taking a look at for you tonight. The global economic growth for 2019 will be slow for the first time in 3 years, with inflation remaining under control across the globe. This is the prediction from market outlook report by the Standard Chartered Bank Wealth Advisory sector. Now, the report indicates that there will be a positive return on bonds, including government and other emerging bonds for the year. There is more in this report.
The 2019 Market Outlook is an annual research conducted by the Wealth Management Department of Standard Chartered Bank to reveal the investment climate for the year and predicts the best option for investors. The research findings indicate good yields on government bonds as a result of some positive developments on the capital market front. Apart from the bonds, the bank is also optimistic of a good equity market, especially U.S. equities. Seto Kwashiga is head of Wealth Management at Standard Chartered Bank, Ghana.
Because of the projections in the market and how we anticipate that investments will go, we are advocating certain investment asset classes. We are advocating certain investment avenues, and so we are projecting that people should, for instance, invest in bonds, invest in some amounts of equities, and the equities we are advocating U.S. equities or Asia ex-Japan.
She also explains how these investment products are accessible in Ghana.
We anticipate that markets will not be as easy, and so if you're keeping cash or near cash, when tables turn, when the slight turbulence we project happens, you can get out and invest in something else. And so cash is not just keeping current account or just savings money in your savings account, but saying, yes, some investments that is near cash that you can easily get out of, like a Standard Chartered fixed deposit, for instance, or any of the bonds that you can easily get out of and do something else. But we are projecting bonds will do well, and so if you're in bonds, you're safe.
The report predicts a stronger U.S. dollar into the first few months of the year, given relative U.S. economic outperformance, interest rates, and others.
Well, there might be Ponzi schemes out there, but that shouldn't stop you from making money by investing in the right instruments. This is according to the Regional Head Corporate Affairs, Brand and Marketing for Africa and Middle East for Standard Chartered Bank, Olga Arara-Kimini. Sharing her thoughts with Joy Business, Olga Arara-Kimini said prospective investors should always talk to a qualified financial advisor.
Investment is a very personal decision. I don't think it's something that we'll be able to cover all the available solutions that would be there. So again, I think my advice to everybody else is ensure that you're talking to a qualified financial advisor, not listening to decisions that Olga or Novad probably would have made, 5 or 10 years ago. I think it's a very personal decision that you need, but I think what is underlying is find a qualified financial advisor who would take you who would do a proper assessment and then handhold you through the journey of making the best investment that would suit your needs.
In other news tonight, CEOs and business leaders in the financial sector have settled on the need for intense digitization of business modules to meet changing demands in the sector. Director of Education at the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, Dr. Noel Tego, warned that failure to adopt new financial technology spells doom for the financial market. He was among financial experts who deliberated on how best businesses can survive in the wake of blockchain technology. This was at the launch of the 2019 Future of Finance syllabus by the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. Charles Aite has more.
According to the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, most finance teams and professionals are not evolving their skills fast enough to account for the impact of artificial intelligence. Joining in the discussion, CEO of Data Bank Group, Kojo Adaimen, stressed technology will improve efficiency in the banking sector.
Invest in the Eurobonds, who invest in the government of Ghana 2-year bonds, and they need very easy ways to pay. And if you don't give them the technology that they can use to pay, they are used to a certain way of doing business. If you tell them that, they can buy bonds in Asia or in Southern America in a certain way, but when it comes to Ghana or Africa, you should understand, we don't have the appropriate technology. You lose the business. We will not get it because they have choice. They are looking at options. They have options in all sorts of places and all sorts of countries. So we invest in the technology. We are forced to invest in the technology. Otherwise, we will just die as a business.
CEO of Barclays Bank, Michael Mensaba, also outlined how artificial intelligence influences growth yields.
Technology is impacting everything that we do, from the way we serve our customers, from the way we interact with each other, from the way, even within families, the way we actually communicate with each other has totally changed. And I say to people that any organization or anybody that doesn't take this technology disruption seriously will actually be wiped out.
The launch of the Future of Finance syllabus by SIMA hopes to equip students with hands-on financial technology and literacy to make them relevant and employable.
Taking you to the Shanti region next, where the Amenfima Rural Bank has initiated a succession plan under which young employees are being trained to take over from retiring staff. The scheme, known as Amenfima Talent Academy Program, is a conscious business effort to build capacity of employees. Head of Human Relations and Administration, Anthony Edubroni, says it will address manpower challenges confronting rural and community banks. Prince Apia has more in this report.
This is the second batch of the Amenfima Talent Academy program. Last year, 16 staff benefited from the program. 22 out of the 36 candidates who applied for this year's program qualified for selection and final enrollment. Head of Human Relations and Administration, Anthony Edubroni, says the bank's objective is to become the net exporter of good quality human resource.
The program has a vision of producing talents who are capable to excel, who are capable to deliver. And at the end of the day, Amenfima Rural Bank would be a net exporter of talent. Net exporter of talent because we would be able to produce a lot of these talents who are very well committed and dedicated, so that within the industry, if anybody is looking for a chief executive, he would want to look for Amenfima Rural Bank to come for chief executive. One principal objective of ATAP is to also produce staff, so that anytime we have vacancy at the top management level, we will not go looking for people outside. We would have people from within to fill the top vacancies.
Producing the requisite human resource for the rural banking industry to address shortfall of good quality personnel is of paramount importance to management. Board Chairman Dr. Tony Orban says the success of any business hinges on attention to the human resource.
The human resources are the key value to every company, which is very true, because it is the staff which interpret the market, which will inform your strategy, and it is they who would actually implement the strategy. So we are talking with some international investors to link up with what we do for university certification. Our discussions have gone very well, and they've seen our program and they were very impressed with what we're doing. So even though we are a rural bank, most of the things we do are in competition with the universal banks. Our focus is really to still do our actions locally as rural banks, but try and pick up the qualities of universal bank.
To qualify for the program, a candidate must have worked at least a minimum of 2 years in the company, and participants have internship opportunities.
It's going to help the bank because they are not going to rent outside or going to employ people from outside. They are going to get people within, because since they are going to groom us, train us into a managerial role, I think it's a nice opportunity given to us.
It's an opportunity for me to learn and then develop myself academically, professionally, and then personally.
Industry players believe if other banks emulate Amenfima Rural Bank's initiative, it will be for the greater good of the industry in terms of quality human resource. Prince Apia reporting.
Well, from the financial sector, we turn to energy matters, and there appears to be some disagreement between the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission and new ECG owners over the determination of new tariff levels. George Afe has been following this story and he has the latest.
Documents cited by Joy Business shows the new owners wants the utility tariff review to be strictly influenced by the rate-setting guidelines that was agreed with them when the takeover agreement was signed last year. Joy Business is learning if the new tariff levels are not structured in a way to offer prudent returns on their investments, then government may have to pay up the difference. But in a separate document, the PRC is insisting that the supposed caution was not needed because it has done all the necessary engagement to settle on these new tariff levels. The Commission is insisting that it has the sole power to determine what consumers should pay, and therefore it cannot be pressured on this issue. The Commission is also rejecting claims of being the cause of the delayed takeover of ECG by the Power Distribution Service. But for some, the development is worrying, as it could cost the country in drawing down all the funds under the Millennium Challenge Compact. This is because it has to complete the takeover way before March 6, 2019. However, the parties are optimistic of a deal could be reached within the next few weeks for ECG's takeover to be completed. But the question is, what are the right levels of utility tariffs? And what about the ability of consumers to pay?
While it appears moves by government to convert the Tema oil refinery into a tank farm has been abandoned as the company currently seeks to expand its operations, Managing Director of the Tema oil refinery, Isaac Osei, says plans are underway to increase productivity and bring in more investments to make Ghana's only oil refinery more viable. He spoke with my colleague, Enes Menu.
I have never said Tor should be a tank farm. But apart from that, in the short to medium term, we are looking to increase the capacity of the production that we have on the present Tor premises. And we are doing it in two stages. The first stage is the replacement of the furnace which blew up a couple of years ago. When that one comes in, we'll be able to increase our capacity straight to 45,000. From 45,000, we have a project to increase it to 60. And alongside that, we are bringing in a foreign technical and financial partner who can build a modular unit of capacity of about 40,000. That is what will give us 100,000 on the top premises. But as to the participation of the foreign entity, a lot of it depends on our government.
Is it your plan to ensure that TOR is able to refine crude that will meet the demands of the nation?
Yes, I mean we do produce that already. We are already refining 10 crude. We are refining Bolly Light for the market. As we speak, people are tracking our products which we have produced from the market. And then once the refractory material comes and we deal with it this week and next week, we start cracking, and then you get what you call super and LPG. So all these products are already being produced on top premises.
Does it have any consequence for the price on the market at all?
It could. It could. It depends on what we do with our margins.
You're watching Business Live. Now, packaging Ghana's raw materials has been a major problem for decades as most commodities are exported in their raw state. Now, shea butter is one of such products, but a young lady, Tutua Ahoy, is changing the face of Ghana's shea butter business. Her unique packaging, sourced locally, is placing Nokware skincare brand on the global market. Her story next on the Joy Business Van.
Value addition to Ghana's raw materials has been a major problem for decades, and shea butter is one of such products that are exported in its raw state. But the story you are about to watch will blow your mind. Ghana's own shea butter with swag. Packaging for the international market, and Nokware Skincare is our guest on the Joy Business Van.
She's young, Daring, educated, with a great sense of fashion. Even though she had dreams of becoming a fashion designer someday, she now produces shea butter. Meet 28-year-old Tutu Ahoy, a degree holder in banking and finance from the University of Ghana. She also holds masters in international business at Grenoble University in France. As if to say, when the world can't accommodate you, create your own space. Tutua turned her misfortune into a blessing. And that was after the job market failed her.
I couldn't find a job. I finished my master's, I came home, I was home for about 8 months, I wasn't finding a job. It was very depressing. I mean, my father would wake up every morning and you know, it's very, especially when you've taken the steps to go and find like a higher education, you come back. I mean, they tell you that like you go to school, you do your master's, you come back, you get a good job, you get married, you have kids, you die. Like that's sort of like how like the trajectory of life. And so when you do all of that and then one step, the next step doesn't fall in place, it's very disheartening.
Like every startup, Tutua started small in her bedroom.
And it wasn't even a conscious thing of, oh, if I can't find a job, then let me be a job. It was more, I had a friend that I met during my master's, and we moved back to our home. She moved back to Botswana, and she was always telling me, oh, send me some of your alata samina and shea butter. And so I sent to her sometimes, and then there was a day she said, oh, send me some for my friends also. I was like, I don't even have a job, I don't have money, you always go and buy something to your face, you'll buy it. Right when I said you'll buy it, I remember I just like rolled over to the side of my bed. I had like a little red notebook. Took the notebook, started writing ideas, and all of a sudden like the ideas were just like coming. I was like, okay, maybe this could be something more than just a small thing sending to my friends. But even then it wasn't something I wanted to sell in Ghana, because I was like, how many people make shea butter in Ghana? And so I was just like, okay, how are you going to send it to me? I was like, okay, I need to figure out like the packaging and stuff.
It's just 1 year into the business and a brand is breaking grounds on the international market. She now sells in about 4 African countries.
So we're both local and international. We do wholesale to all of the stores that we're in. So in a bunch of stores like in Kotoka Airport and other stores, and then also we do retail, so customers can buy from us directly. But what we also do is wedding favors, which has also become, I mean, the major part of the business. If you look on the board, you see all of the orders for the wedding favors that we have coming up, and so that's for Ghana. And then internationally we work with other female-owned businesses that sort of have like an online platform or a physical store where they sell natural products. And so we've partnered with them, and there's some in Tanzania, there's some in Kenya, there's some in Zambia, there's some in South Africa. And so they also retail our products for us outside.
The business has also employed 5, all women.
Women and women empowerment is something that's always been dear to my heart. And I mean, particularly in Africa, the gender parity gap, the number of men working versus the number of women working is not equal. And also, even for men and women doing the same jobs, the women get paid less than the men for doing the same jobs, whereas the women are not only doing that job, but they're running the home, they're taking care of the children. And so I just always felt like, let's create an environment where we give the people who under normal circumstances would not find a job, let's give those people a job. And so, I mean, I feel like the men have enough opportunities as is. And so as a woman, if I'm creating something, I'll create it for people. And so what we also do is we don't hire like just educated people. There's women who work here who have never been to school.
She currently has 2 products, the Nukware soap and shea butter.
And with the soaps, we have 4 variants. So we have some with neem oil, some with baobab oil, some with activated charcoal, so for different skincare needs. And so the activated charcoal, for instance, is for oily skin. The shea and baobab is for like dry skin. So we've targeted all the different skin types with the soaps. And so this is where the packaging for the soaps is done. And so first we get the soaps, we put them in the calabashes, we use the cocoa sacks to cover it, and then she then puts the raffia. It's actually raffia, it's from a palm tree.
The most fascinating thing about the brand is the packaging. Calabash, raffia, and other local materials have been used in packaging to highlight Ghana's natural resources while preserving the environment.
It's to stay true to our African heritage. I mean, we don't need to go buy plastic and pollute the environment with so many plastic containers when we have natural packaging materials that we can use to make our own packaging. And so the calabash is African.
jute sacks are perfectly fine to make covers. Raffia is perfectly fine to tie a nice little bow. So in the end, it just looks like a cute little package like
clients
this.
love it, I guess.
They love it. I mean, the packaging is the main reason why I would say we are where we are in a year.
All right, you're watching Business Live. Interesting story to do with Tutua and her shea butter business. We have a poll around packaging. We'll give you the results right after this break.
Not again. It's the story of an old tired engine, a disappointed lady, a breakdown anywhere car, that one dress for church, for parties, even graduation.
What's wrong with you?
And let's not forget about Mr. Single Room, with noisy neighbors all around him, cramping in style and getting way too close for comfort. If this is you, then it's time you upgrade your life in the EcoBank Express account promo. Deposit 50 Ghana cedis or more in your EcoBank Express account at any of the 1,600 Express points for your chance to win a share of over 500,000 Ghana cedis in our weekly draws from the 30th of November 2018 to the 8th of March 2019. Deposit 50 Ghana cedis today and upgrade your life. Call 0302-213-999 to find your local Express point. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Welcome back to the bulletin. So we saw the amazing stuff Tutua does with shea butter in terms of packaging, and we've had people complain about packaging here in Ghana. So tonight in our poll, we've been asking if poor packaging prevents you from patronizing locally made products. Let's see the results for tonight. And so 77% of you, a great majority, say that when you look at stuff that is not properly packaged, you probably wouldn't buy, and 23% say no. And so it tells you how important packaging is if you want to get your items sold. Hopefully our startups and our entrepreneurs will take a cue. And also to remind you that on February 12th, there will be a Joy Business Knowledge series on taxes. It's powered by PricewaterhouseCoopers. You can join us at Movenpick Ambassador Hotel for what promises to be a very interesting session. Mark the date is on the 12th of February. The time is 8:30 a.m. and we are running with the hashtag IntelliTax. Don't forget that. Hashtag IntelliTax. There's more news on our website, joybusinessnews.com/business. You have the latest stories there for you to read. My name is Daryl Kwao. Thanks for watching. We are back same time tomorrow.